factories from last night, everything took it
Yeah, I got the stuff.
Picture you can already show the one we already have. Sheriff, how you doing there?
Good morning. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. You should have this in the big room next door.
There, something going on over there.
Oh, no. Tell them to come over here and get us over there.
Far more people over there.
How you doing today? Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you too. Doing great, yourself?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, gotcha. Let me sit right there. Hey, when we start this, just to let you know, when we start this, I was gonna pause for like a minute, and we're gonna play an audio of the 911, where multiple 911 calls came in, but we're gonna play one in particular.
Okay.
So I don't know if you wanna record, it'll come
Can
through
we
the
get
speaker.
afterwards? Then we'll
Yes.
separate the audio from this,
Yeah, we know if would be
Okay.
make it a little easier, so we're not.
Okay.
quality wise to be.
Yeah, yeah. But, okay, do you want us to play it, let's so you can hear it?
It's
Wow.
just audio, right?
Yeah, just audio.
Okay,
Okay.
alright.
It kinda gives you the visual of what was going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Anybody else in the line? Not sure anybody else is.
Tanya will supposed to come up, I'm not sure.
She sees one.
15's here. So she's right here for 9. The 15's over there at the very end.
Alright.
Just make sure everybody.
Here. Yeah, that's all I got.
Got your phone on vibrate. Y'all let me know when you're ready.
We're ready.
Ready? Okay. Okay, good morning and thank you all for being here this morning. I'm Sheriff Bernice Wilkins. This is not a press conference that I look forward to having, but to continue our effort in being transparent to the public and even to the media. I think that we need to put some information out regarding the triple homicide and shooting that occurred yesterday afternoon in Red Springs. Before I even get started, I want to play the audio of a 911 call that came in, so if you give us about a minute and a half and listen to this audio as it comes in, please.
What? Sir, verify the address for me again, please. And your name. What's the phone number you're calling from? What's sure they're deceased, sir? Do you know who did it, sir? Sir, we have someone coming and
Okay, that was the end of the call. So, okay, yesterday, Tuesday, January 24th, at around 2:46 p.m., that frantic call you just heard came into the 911 communications center regarding several subjects shot, and as you heard in that audio, there were some deceased folks that he recognized immediately. It occurred on Samuel Williams Drive, just outside the town of Red Springs. Several deputies and detectives, the Homicide Division, Crime Scene Division, was dispatched to head that way. Red Springs police officers arrived first. It was just outside of town, as I just mentioned. Shortly after that, as the deputies arrived and the detectives, this is my Homicide Division, as soon as some of these guys got there and got some information from some of the witnesses on the scene, a search began for the suspect, Corey Grant Leak. There was some conflicting information about how he left the scene. Some folks said that he ran into a wooded area, which was a huge wooded area right behind it, and a couple of folks said that he left on a moped. So while the detectives and the homicide crime scene and guys were on the way, we dispatched our SWAT team. I contacted the Highway Patrol and had the Highway Patrol helicopter aviation unit on the way to help us with this search. During that time period, shortly after 4 p.m. or so, we received a call from a citizen that had spotted our suspect. We had put it out on social media that we were looking for him. They had spotted him riding a moped without a helmet on Highway 71 just outside of Maxton. Shortly after that, some of our detectives spotted him in Maxton. I think he spotted them as well. He ditched his moped that he was operating at a local business there and began walking away, and they were able to surround him and arrest him without incident. He was taken into custody, brought here to the sheriff's office, was here for a pretty good while last night, and I will say that he was pretty cooperative with the entire investigation thus far. But what I want to talk about really right now is the victims in this. We had not released the victims' names until now. I know some of you had already put it out. We want to discuss these victims here, because what has happened here is we've taken away basically a family, and the shooter in this case, Corey Grant, is kin to these folks. And this lady right here is the only survivor that survived yesterday that was shot and was taken to a local hospital, and we are hoping that she will recover fully. She's got a lot to go through. In the meantime, she did receive gunshot wounds, multiple gunshot wounds. All of these victims you see here received multiple gunshot wounds. Her name is Equilla Williams Biggs. She's a 71-year-old grandmother, mother, obviously, that allowed this suspect, who was, again, a relative, I think it was her cousin, to live at her home to keep him from being homeless. This is a mother that has lost 2 of her children yesterday. These next 2 photos beside of her are her children. Donald Williams here in the center is a 51-year-old father and the son of Equilla. He was shot multiple times. He actually tried to escape from the suspect as he was shooting and was shot multiple times. Beside of him is his sister, Miss Equilla's daughter, Sierra Nicole Wherry. She's a 34-year-old mother, again the daughter of Equilla, again shot multiple times. And the guy pictured here on the bottom is Mr. James Elijah Beauregard. He's a 45-year-old father himself, and he is a lifelong friend of a lot of these folks, but particularly the suspect, Corey Grant Leak. So again, we've lost basically a family here and friends in a small community of Red Springs in an area called the Bottoms. And these folks are very well known in their area and very well respected there in that area. Now, let's talk about the suspect. I know y'all were already familiar with him as well. This is Corey Grant Leak. He's 46 years old. What's disturbing about Corey is he's 46 years old, but he has spent over half of his life in prison. He committed a murder in 1993 and was arrested for it and spent time in jail until being convicted and sentenced to a life sentence in 1996. He was released from prison in October of 2020 and is under current parole through 2025. Now, this is a situation that I've talked about many times before, even as recently as another couple of murders that we had earlier this month. This is yet another example of a convicted felon that's walking our streets. And when you do that, those pictures you just seen is what happens. And that's what disturbs me about this whole situation. I know a lot of folks want to blame law enforcement. A lot of folks want to blame the criminal justice system. I think it's quite obvious where the blame lies. We're doing our job. Folks, we're doing our job. I'm just asking others to do theirs. Had this guy been locked up like he should have been, none of this would have occurred. If that guy will shoot his own family members, just imagine what he would do to you and I. I mean, that's really what you got to think about here. So the investigation continues, and we're asking the public, particularly those that are watching these newscasts, this family needs help. This family probably needs financial help. This family needs your thoughts and prayers, and anyone that knows this family, or you'll probably see some funds, GoFundMe type pages popping up, and all these folks need help. They're not going to be able to get through this alone, and law enforcement, we're going to stand by and do everything that we can. I do want to thank my homicide division guys. This is some of them. There were probably 30 or 40 deputies out there all night last night working this crime scene. It was a huge effort. We were also assisted by alcohol, tobacco, and firearms special agents. Again, the Highway Patrol, Red Springs Police Department, and Maxton Police Department assisted us with the takedown of the suspect yesterday. So if any of you have any questions or anything,
Hey,
I'll,
Sheriff,
yes.
what is the motive? I know the investigation is early, but what is your sense of the motive for the shooting?
Okay, I saw some information was put out there about it being drug-related. Our investigation shows no drug relation at all. It was over supposedly some missing money, and there was an argument about who took his money, and he just lost it.
It's my understanding the money was drug-related.
We had, not according to his statement and some others there, but it is money.
And what type of caliber weapon did he use to shoot someone?
We're not sure of that yet. Based on witness statements, it was a handgun.
And have you recovered the weapon?
Not as of yet.
Can you tell us more about the condition of the lone survivor? Is it accurate to say that she's in critical condition right now?
She's at a local hospital, not in our county, and we have been told today that she is expected to survive with no issues. So that's all I know at this time. He was charged last night with multiple offenses. Probably has other charges forthcoming. I'm not sure what the state parole folks will do to him, but just to clear up some confusion, I saw where someone put out that he was under $1 million bond. That's $1 million bond on the other charges that are not murder related. On the murder charges, 3 counts of murder, he's under no bond. So he will be held.
Sheriff, you touched on this already.
Mhm.
Your guys are working hard. You're putting people in behind bars.
Yes.
And then something like this happens.
Mhm.
This has to hit you in the gut personally.
Oh yeah, it's very. I'm in my 42nd year of law enforcement, and it's just disheartening. Early in my career, I can remember a time you would not see murder suspects walking the streets. A murder suspect almost killed one of our deputies this past weekend. Was Saturday morning early Saturday morning on I-95 at the 36-mile marker. That was out on bond for a murder charge, robbery and kidnapping, and pulled a gun on one of our detectives out on I-95 and then fled, and we were able to catch him and got the gun. So I don't know what it's going to take. And again, law enforcement constantly catches that blame, but it's not our fault. We're doing our part. Once that person is presented to a magistrate and they're locked up in that detention center, we're done. That's it for us. We have no control. Any other questions? All right, thank you. Thank you.
Can we, listen to the audio again?
You want to hear it again?
Yes, sir.
I'd like a copy of it.
Yeah.
Can we
Don't
get,
we get
um,
copies of it? I
can
got
we
a
get
copy,
the
just give
writing
it.
of the victims' names in writing?
I have information for you.
Okay.
I gotta print out all the information for you, okay? And I give it to you.
Sheriff, how do you wanna handle the, you have you need thumb drive, or you can email us a spot where we can pick up?
They probably do.
Can we go to?
If all of you would write your email down, we'll just email it all at one time.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm gonna say. Let us get your email address, I
And
distribute
you'll
everything
send
to
us
you.
the 911 call?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
You already have mine? I'm
Yes.
just wondering.
With suspects current, can you tell?
I will email that also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can get you all the pictures and
Yeah, just-
everything there. Okay.
I give you this hard copy, but I
Happy
also
New
send you a
Year.
printed
Good to
copy.
see you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.